For decades, Hyundai has been in the front line of modern car design and manufacturing. Constantly pushing the envelope, the company has a long history of technological innovation. But it hasn't evolved merely for the sake of evolution, rather, the firm has always had one goal in mind: building cars of unbeatable quality. These days, Hyundai is more devoted than ever to creating the ideal driving experience. All of that being said, how did Hyundai get where it is, and where is it headed now? Let's talk about it. A boy named Chung Joo-young was born on November 25, 1915 in Tongkon, Gangwon Province, North Korea. In a large impoverished family of peasants, he was the eldest of 7 children. As a young boy, Chung dreamed of becoming a school teacher, but his hopes were cut short because the restrictive environment at the time kept the family stuck in poverty, effectively keeping Chung away from higher education opportunities. Despite the setbacks, Chung was able to attend a local Confucian school run by his grandfather whenever his time was not taken up by tasks on the family farm. Chung's talent for business became apparent during his trips into town where he would sell wood. The fast-paced atmosphere of the town along with the articles in newspapers Chung read sparked his imagination. He soon grew tired of the poverty that he and his family had to endure. At the age of 16, Chung decided to travel to the city of Chungcheon, North Korea, with a friend for work in hopes of escaping the harsh realities of farm life. After a 15-mile trek through the most dangerous parts of the Pachun Valley, the pair reached the town of Gangwon, North Korea, where they took up jobs as construction workers. They worked long hours for low pay, but Chung enjoyed the fact that he could earn money independently. Chung and his friend continued the work for 2 months until Chung's father learned of their whereabouts and bring them back. The journey that Chung and his friend had embarked on made him realize his passion for civil engineering and gave him a sense of accomplishment. Once he returned to his home village of Gazanri in Susangan, he devised another escape plan, this time towards Gyeongju, Seoul. With 2 companions, Chung left for Gyeongju in April 1933. The journey seemed destined for failure, especially since one of the boys was caught by a sibling early on. More misfortune came upon them when Chung and his friend were conned by a stranger who promised them jobs but instead took all of their money. The journey came to an end when Chung's father found the 2 staying at Chung's grandfather's house nearby. Chung once again found himself in Asan, where he remained for a year helping his father work on the family farm. Once his duties to the family were complete, Chung decided it was time to make another attempt at getting out of poverty. But he had no money to buy train ticket, so he secretly sold one of his father's cows and managed to escape. Once he arrived in Gyeongju, Chung enrolled himself in a local bookkeeping school hoping to start a career as an accountant. Things went smoothly for 2 months when his father managed to find him and after a mild argument, took him back to Gazan. In 1933, at the age of 18, Chung decided to make a 4th attempt to escape. He left during the night with a friend who was trying to escape a forced marriage. Once Chung reached Gyeongju, he jumped at any job he could find. He worked first as a laborer at Jinsen Harbor. After that he worked as a construction worker at Bozong Professional School and as a handyman for a starch syrup factory. After working at the syrup factory for nearly a year, Chung managed to land a job as a deliveryman at the Bokyung rice store in Gyeongju. Chung's new job offered him room for advancement, and as he became more successful at it, he decided to stay on full-time. He eventually won the praise of the rice store's core customers, which impressed the owner so much that he allowed Chung to manage the store's accounting after only 6 months on the job. His experiences as the store accountant helped him to thoroughly develop his business sense. In 1937, the owner of the rice store became ill and decided it would be in his best interest to give the store to Chung. At 22 years of age, Chung became the store owner and changed the name of the store to Gyeongju Rice Store. The store grew and made good profits until early 1939 when Japan, in its war efforts to secure rice supplies for the country and its military, imposed an oppressive rice rationing system which forced Korean businesses out of trading rice. Chung returned to his village once his business failed and remained there until 1940, when he decided to try again in Keijo. After considering the reality of restrictions imposed on Koreans in certain industries by the Japanese colonial government, Chung decided to enter the automobile repair business. Using a service garage he purchased from a friend, Chung started the Ado Service Garage on a 3001 loan. Within 3 years, the number of employees grew from 20 to 70 and Chung was able to earn a good income. In 1943, the Japanese colonial government forced the garage to merge with a steel plant as part of the war effort. Although his businesses were shut down due to suppression by the Japanese, Chung returned to Gazan with 50,000 yen in savings to try to make the best of the situation. In 1946, Chung found a construction company and named it the Hyundai Engineering. Chung won major government contracts and became responsible for building much of South Korea's transportation infrastructure, including the Soyeong Dam in 1967, the Gyeongbu Expressway in 1970, the world's largest shipyard in Ulsan, the Kori nuclear power plant among others. In 1967, Hyundai Motor Company was founded. The following year, the construction of the company's Ulsan assembly plant was completed. Today, it is the world's largest integrated automobile manufacturing facility. In 1968, the Cortina was the very first vehicle successfully assembled by Hyundai at its Ulsan plant, in cooperation with Ford Motor Company. Cortina's initial success and eventual dominance of the European market, Hyundai decided to develop its own car. The company hired George Turnbull, the former managing director of Austin Morris at British Leyland, in February 1974. He immediately hired 6 European chief engineers to assist him, including a body designer, 2 chassis designers, 2 production engineers and a test engineer. Together they created the Pony, which was presented at the Turin Motor Show in October 1974. Before it was later introduced to the market in December 1975, the car was nicknamed Kukmincha, which means car for the people. It became Hyundai's flagship vehicle for many years. Hyundai started exporting the Pony to Chile, Argentina, Colombia, and Egypt in 1976. European exports to Belgium and the Netherlands began in 1978, with Greece added shortly afterwards. In 1984, Hyundai began exporting the Pony to Canada, where sales greatly exceeded expectations. At one point, it was the top-selling car on the Canadian market. The following year, the first-generation Hyundai Sonata was introduced, and the company's 1 millionth car was built. In the spring of 1990, aggregate production of Hyundai automobiles reached the 4 million mark. Then, in 1991, the company reached another milestone, as it developed its first proprietary gasoline engine, the 4-cylinder Alpha, as well as its own transmission. Hyundai introduced many popular models in this time period, including the Accent, Dynasty, and Tiburon. In 1996, Hyundai Motor India Limited was established with a production plant in Irunga Tukatai, near Chennai, India. Chung Joo-young transferred leadership of Hyundai Motor to his son, Chung Mong-koo. In 1999, Hyundai's parent company, Hyundai Motor Group, invested heavily in the quality, design, manufacturing, and long-term research of its vehicles. It added a 10-year or 100,000-mile warranty to cars sold in the United States and launched an aggressive marketing campaign. On March 21, 2001, Chung Joo-young passed away at the age of 85 of natural causes at his home in Seoul. By the turn of the millennium, Hyundai had begun to overhaul its image in order to establish itself as a world-class brand. Hyundai launched its first SUV, the Santa Fe, in 2000. Named after the city in New Mexico, it proved a hit with American buyers and quickly became the company's best-selling car. This was followed in 2004 with the launch of another SUV, the Tucson. The company continues to establish itself as one of the premier auto companies in Canada, Mexico, Brazil, China, India, Japan, Germany, practically everywhere in the world. With the worldwide sales in 2005 reached 2,533,695 units. Throughout the 2010s, Hyundai has increasingly turned its attention towards environmentally friendly vehicles and technology. Going forward, the company aims to lead the pollution-free mobility era by improving fuel efficiency and seeking new energy possibilities. At the beginning of the decade, Hyundai launched Bluon, its first production electric car, in Seoul in September 2010, sold in South Korea. In 2011, Hyundai sold 4.05 million cars worldwide, and the Hyundai Motor Group was the world's fourth largest automaker behind GM, Volkswagen, and Toyota. In 2016, Hyundai introduced the Ioniq, the world's first car to offer 3 electrified powertrains: hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and full electric. Its name derives from the words ion and unique. This was followed in 2018 by the launch of the Kona Electric, Europe's first all-electric subcompact SUV, and Nexo, Hyundai's second-generation fuel cell vehicle. In June 2021, Hyundai Motor Group completed its acquisition of a controlling interest in the robotics firm, Boston Dynamics. Hyundai Motor Group now takes an 80% share of the company. Today, Hyundai is recognized as one of the fastest-growing brands in the world, and has research and development centers in Europe, Asia, and North America, with production plants in 5 major countries. Hyundai, and the world's largest manufacturing facility, is in Ulsan, where they are capable of a manufacturing turnover of 1.6 million vehicles per year. Hyundai Motors ranks 3rd in global vehicle sales in 2022, with the net worth of $196.8 billion. The company employs more than 75,000 staff members and now has around 6,000 dealerships and showrooms across 193 countries. So this was the story of a young boy who escaped from his house and paved his way to success by his hard work. What do you personally think of Hyundai brand, and which car do you drive? Tell me in the comments.